On December 1, when one of the first G20 events started in our country, I was invited to speak in Lucknow. While delivering a keynote address at a G20 event, I said that you see, long before India assumed G20's presidency, Swami Vivekananda had laid down the plan for it. Swamiji had said, every nation has a mission in the world and India's mission is to guide humanity. And I said that for the next 1 year, leaders of different countries will come to our country. All kinds of policymakers and experts, ministers and leaders will be here in India. We must be able to see and show as young people that when the rest of the world does something, how the rest of the world does it, and when India does it, how India leads the way. And while speaking, I had quoted that we'll need to tell the people of the world that the rest of the world built metros and metros were built. When we built metros, an example was set. Because the story of E. Sridharan, when it was written down, it was not written down as the story of a civil engineer. It was not written down as the story of a metro man. The book was called The Karma Yogi. I said that when the rest of the world worked on milk production, they just became the largest producers of the milk in the world. But for India, a young student would return from the United States in 1948 and start working in a milk deficient country. And for 50 years, that Verghese Kurian would work with Tribhuvandas Patel in Anand in Gujarat. And they would work on an idea they would call a billion-liter idea in a milk-deficient country. In 1998, India would go on to become the largest producer of milk in the world, overtaking the same United States of America that Dr. Kurian had returned from. But stop there for a moment. At the end of 50 years, working with 9 Indian Prime Ministers, the most expensive possession that Dr. Kurian had, the father of white revolution in this country, it was only a watch that his grandson had gifted him. I had said then that they built metros and we built metros. They did milk production and we did milk production. Something very unique comes out of it. That is what Swamiji talks about. You see, yesterday I was speaking in Nagpur and I had the greatest privilege to say that the rest of the world did G20 presidency and we did G20 presidency. When they handed it over, they received G20 and they handed over G20. When we received G20, we handed over, after the inclusion of the African Union, G21. So 130 years ago, 125 years ago, when Swamiji had defined the mission of India, he was not just putting down simple mere words. Even I had no idea in December that when I said that for 1 year we'll continue to show the world that you build metro, we set an example. You do milk production, we set an example. The rest of the world did G20 presidency, we set an example.